Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. All right, guys. Hey, welcome back. Welcome back. I got a great guest here, guys. In a minute, I'm going to be speaking with Kelly S. Jones. Kelly S. Jones is the owner of Kelly S. Jones, LLC. She's a healer. She is a coach. She's a teacher. She is a best-selling author. She's dedicated to helping you. That's pretty much what her deal is. She's done all these things, and all she wants to do is just help people. And that made me a fan from day one. She's a very deep person, and I always look forward to our interviews because I always end up that I'm learning something after I speak with her. So if you want to get more information, guys, go to kellysjones.net, or you can call us up 631-730-7376. Or you can get me on the instant feedback, and my producer will read it because I happen to be blind, and I can't see that far. So my producer from off camera, he will read it. So just go to kcinstantfeedback@gmail.com. It pops up. He'll read it live on the air, and then Miss Kelly will respond to it. So, guys, with no further ado, you're gonna love this guest. It's the Kelly S. Jones Show with Kelly S. Jones. My friends, Kelly S. Jones. How you doing, Kel?
Great, Casey. Wonderful to be with you in person.
It's a pleasure to put the face with the voice, and you guys are. I mean, I always love talking to you each week. I think it's pretty amazing. You always have to have a great angle on something, So tell me, just fill in the blanks a little bit about what we got going on at Kelly S. Jones LLC. Tell me what we do there.
Well, we help people actually move out of a fear-based perspective and a fear-based living into living from a place of love, living from a place of their heart. There's a saying that says the longest journey we take is 18 inches from the head to the heart in our lifetime. So I really help people live from their heart and heal in that process, because there's a lot of experiences that we have that get very confusing, and I help to unravel the confusion and help people move out of being stuck and just downtrodden even.
Yeah, isn't it true? All of us, we feel stuck. I mean, it happens all the time.
Absolutely. Now at some point in time we have. Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah.
And with this past year, with the pandemic and all that, we've, if anyone doesn't know the term stuck, I want to go where you're going, or where you've been.
Last year was definitely a major turning point for a lot of people. It caused people to pause. It caused people to go within. It allowed people to see their own stuff. When we don't like something, it's a good time to start looking to see what's going on within us. And that's certainly a big part of my message, as you know. We have on this theme of being loved and really taking responsibility, because so many people live a life that they're feeling victimized. They're feeling there's somebody else to blame. There's somebody else that's a cause of their problem. And it creates a very powerless situation. And in that powerlessness, there's confusion, there's doubt, there's worry, there's concern, it's more difficult to get to answers, right? To get to clarity. And when one repostures themselves into a place of acceptance and allowance of what is, then they're no longer in resistance. They're no longer going against the grain and against what's actually happening in their lives. And they can open to accept and allow it. And in that process, they can actually heal. In that process, or that place of being, we can shift out of feeling stuck into a mode of having positive action that can be taken place. But it certainly helps to have somebody hold our hand, to guide us, to help us to see with clear eyes what's actually happening.
Did you ever find yourself somewhere, what you were just describing? Did you ever have to get out of that stuck?
Plenty of times, plenty of times. And it's nice though to be at a place where I recognize there was nobody out there to blame. And it can be hard, right? I mean, to the ego self and to what we've learned, right? So we've all learned and become familiar, and we think because it's familiar, it's accurate. That doesn't mean it's true, right? Just because it's familiar. Yeah. So absolutely. And it took a lot of hard life lessons, to go, oh, really? There's nobody had to blame. Nobody did this to me. And it's interesting. I wanted to share an example today, just to expand on the story that we were opening last time we were together. And it's a perfect example to help people understand when they're blaming and wanting somebody else to be at fault. And hopefully I'll say it well and it'll come out clearly. So I have a client.
I'm sure it will. Don't worry.
And I'll do my best. Thank you. So I have a client, and she has difficulty with her parents, right? And so a lot of people believe that if I'm having a challenge, they want to rush right in. They want to fix it. And that's an old paradigm way of looking at things, because we really need peace of mind. We need peace in our mind in order to step back so that we can see clearly what's going on. Because otherwise, oftentimes what happens is we make things worse, right? We rush in, we're not clear, we're upset, and we're finding fault in the other. We're wanting to blame the other instead of seeing what our part is, instead of seeing, well, how did they actually mirror something back to me? So this client's not in great relationship currently with her parents, and her brother was getting married and asked her not to come to the wedding.
Oh no.
It seriously triggered her. Well, that's a judgment. So we're going to twist
sorry,
that
I should stop that. Sorry. I'm just like.
But I get it, right? That's a natural response that we would all naturally have, right? And I helped her slow it down, right? So I talk about slowing down to move at the speed of love, which means we're not moving at the speed of judgment. We're not moving at the speed of blame and accusations, right? We're really slowing it down to go, what's really happening here? And what really transpired for her is she really didn't want to go to the wedding because her parents were going to be there. And she knew it wasn't going to be comfortable or feel good to her. So instead of responding with, wow, I can understand why you might say that. I really would love to be there. Maybe we can do something special, just the three of us. She actually has a child, so the four of us, right? Instead of coming from that place, she took offense and felt there was something to get mad at him about. But he was actually showing up as a mirror to help her do what she didn't have the courage to do for herself.
Can you explain that a little bit more?
It's a different way of thinking, isn't it?
It really is. But I'm still a little confused. Can you go a little more?
Sure. So she doesn't want to go to the wedding in her heart. In her head, I should be there. I should be invited. I should, what's the word I want to look for? I should stick it out. I should sacrifice for my brother.
Yeah.
Right? I should be, and there's the should, right? We should. I should be, he should, everybody be should, but nobody then is really listening to their heart. So one thing he actually did was listen to his own heart. And we believe people should do things for us that are against themselves. That means love. And therefore, we believe we should do things that are against ourselves, which prove our love, which means I'm worthy or deserving of your love if I'm sacrificing.
Yeah, it's true. 100%.
Yeah. And I'm here to help people recognize, right? That it is important to love ourselves. It's okay to step back while we're healing. Because when we see, and here's the big piece, right? And I keep honing in on this. When we recognize nobody's out there to blame, the brother's not really out there to blame. He's a mirror to show her what's going on within herself. Some part of her is really not wanting to go. Some part of her is also not feeling safe. Right?
Yeah.
So, right, I mean, we could have a completely different perspective, and she could have shown up and said, "Oh my God, yay. I don't have to go. I don't have to go where I don't want to go."
Right.
Right? And I'm not going to offend my brother by not going.
Everyone wins.
Because she's following. That's right. That's right. And when we follow our heart, even though the mind doesn't think everybody is winning, everybody ultimately does. And here's where compassion steps in, right? Because when we're in compassion, we're actually moving away from the judging mind and toward the loving heart. So we're actually, like, she could have compassion for him, right? Because, I mean, well, I'm not even going to go there. We can have compassion for him, right? But we can also have compassion for ourselves. Okay, because it did feel hurtful to her. We don't want to deny the feeling.
You mean don't just stuff it down? You're saying you should acknowledge it?
No, right. Because we're not there yet, right?
Gotcha.
If we were there yet, we would already be in compassion and total acceptance. That's the other piece.
Okay.
Right? That we're in total acceptance of where anybody else is. So she could be in total acceptance where her brother is. That's where the healing really begins. I'm not in judgment for you not wanting me there. Because let's feel something for a moment, right? I had a different scenario with another client the other day. And I said, imagine this friend of yours doing what you want them to do because you want them to do it. Not because they want to do it. So in this situation, the friend was not returning a phone call, and she was getting anxious and upset. She was feeling unworthy and undeserving of, right? Just that connection.
Ghosted almost.
Huh?
Ghosted almost.
Right. So what was happening with that client was she was being triggered with her own sense of unworthiness.
Ah.
So the person not calling back was just the mirror.
Exactly, right? Like the guy that you just told us about.
Correct. Just a mirror.
Wow.
That's all they are. So we can love and accept them 100%. We can love and accept ourselves 100%. And when we do that, we're loving ourselves and allowing ourselves space to heal. Right? Wow. We can heal a lot better in peace than we can in turmoil, right? So for example, like we brought up the flu, right? If somebody's got a flu, you're not going to go near them. Right. You can love them. You're not judging them for having a flu, but you're not going to go near them.
Right.
Or if you are, you're not going to go put yourself in that situation. I like using the other one, right? If someone's trying to quit smoking, they're not going to go to a bar where everybody's smoking. It's going to be hard to quit.
Yep. Wow. You know what? You have you always been this deep? I mean, you kind of. Are you ever like? Do you ever look at something and say, "Oh, okay, that's just what it is. I'm not going to think about it." Or the reason why the light turns from red to yellow to green is because. Do you think about everything like that? Because you're so thought out.
No, and no, I haven't been like this my whole life. No, like I said to you before, I've certainly had my challenges. I've had my life lessons, like, right? So I can relate to people. That's why I say I can do that, right? It's like,
why you're so good at it. Yeah.
I get you. And I understand why the interpretation looks like they're a jerk or they're this, or, you know, as soon as somebody starts talking and it's all about they.
Have you been to an AA meeting?
No, not that one, but it's fascinating, right? That we're really programmed to believe other people are at fault. And when we when we let go of fault finding, and when we let go of blaming, and when we let go of judging, and when we allow ourselves to learn, when we allow ourselves to make mistakes, things get a lot less complicated and they get a lot more harmonious.
Yeah, I got to tell you how lucky I am, because I believe each week I talk to you, it seems like I'm getting some coaching, because I've never thought of things this way that you bring up. And is this kind of like how you, I know it's a little different because I'm a radio host, but some of the same things, do you kind of get people to realize things that they never realized before, like I am, like right now and every week?
100%.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. So just kind of repeating what I shared before.
Yeah.
Right. I help people move from fear-based perspectives, right? So we've got a belief that's mistaken or it's unloving, right? To believe we're unworthy and undeserving and to feel insecure is really not the truth of who we are.
Guys, I'm speaking with Kelly S. Jones, and she's the owner of Kelly S. Jones LLC, and the website is kellysjones.net. Mr. Producer, I believe you have some. I believe I see. I'm not. I know I'm blind, but I see many instant feedbacks because I've been ignoring them. So, Kelly S. Jones is your fans want to talk to you. So let's do that.
Awesome. I wanted to start off from the questions from last week, or the week prior. Um, just get in touch with the instant feedbacks that we might have missed. This person, I believe, is Cynthia from Virginia. She asked, I was on your website and I saw something that caught my eye. On the homepage, it says succeed at the speed of love. What does that mean?
Well, many people believe they need to force and push things, right? So I do conscious business coaching as well as we all have, right? That's when we know we're in our mind. We know we're in our ego. We can also know we could very well be in fear, right? Fear of failure, fear of success. We have to force and push things. So to me, our true success, I mean, okay, let me back up for a second. How many people end up successful according to the social norm, but they're not happy? Right? So many people end up, right? I've got the house, the wife, the husband, the car, the kids. I've got everything, but I'm not happy. So succeeding at the speed of love is about being in our heart and truly following our heart and following that guidance so that we are happy along the journey, right? It's not about getting to the end of the journey. It's about the journey being really self-evolving, self-loving. So that's what I coach. I coach all clients to do that, but I specifically hone in on that when it comes to business so that people are not afraid to live from their heart anymore and to succeed at the speed of love.
Awesome.
Most,
Kelly, how do people get a hold of you? How do people get your services? Can you tell me one more time?
Sure. So my email is sacred beginnings, which I love, sacred beginnings at kellysjones.net, and kellysjones.net is the website. And I have an online calendar. So there's open slots that people can do an exploratory coaching call. They can schedule other sessions, and we can connect that way. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Mr. Producer?
Yes. I have a comment and then another question. I'll go with the comment first. George from Maine, he says, "Whoa, you are more beautiful."
Nah, it's not that type of show, George. But thank you.
And then we have, I believe, Glenda from New Jersey. And she asks, "How should I react when I feel disrespected or ignored by a lover or family member? I'm a shy person in general, and I feel most people take advantage of that."
Wow, that's interesting. So to me, one of the first things is to really fall in love with yourself, right? To respect and honor yourself, every aspect of yourself, and not shy away from that. And when we fall in love with ourselves, there's nobody that can come along and disgrace or dishonor or disrespect or devalue us. And so many times we've been accustomed to, this is really interesting, right? We believe that being hard on ourselves is what's going to make us be a better person, right? That school of hard knocks. And it's actually not true. It's just not true. So really the answer for that to me would be to love yourself, as one simple answer without knowing other details.
I got another answer. Get a hold of Kelly. Go to kellysjones.net. Let her get you there first, because easier said than done, right, Kel?
Say it again.
Easier said than done. Like,
well,
say,
yeah, you're right. No, that's a good
you need
point,
somebody.
Tracy. Well, it absolutely helps to have somebody guide, right? Been there, done that, can see ahead and behind with you, and is a loving mirror, right?
Yep.
I call myself, I think you said that, thank you. A loving mirror, so that I help to reflect in a way that you're not judging yourself, right? I call it double jeopardy, where we're judging the judger, right? There's some part of us judging, putting us in this situation, and then we judge that part ourselves, right? We get hard on ourselves. And that doesn't help anything or anybody or you, for sure. So I help us get into that place where we can love and accept ourselves.
Gotcha. Guys, kellysjones.net. We got time for one more, Mr. Producer? Yeah, we can do it? You got it.
I have another one. Jesse from Vermont, I guess, had the same kind of question with the same sentiment. She goes about saying, I know I have issues with my worth. Recently, I started seeing an amazing person, but I started projecting how I feel onto them. What should I do in this situation?
Well, there's so many ways to address that question. And
Can I butt in for a second? kellysjones.net. Sorry, Kelly, go ahead.
That's okay. I want to address it from this perspective. We are not to blame for other people's experiences. So I'm hearing a bit of guilt that she's projecting onto him, and therefore she's the problem he's having or he's experiencing, right? Versus everybody is self-responsible. Everybody is their own reason for what's happening. So she's not the reason for his having whatever she's dishing out, we'll say. He's got his own stuff that's attracting her to him. He has his reasons and his part of his growth. So we can always let guilt go, right? We really want to heal regrets. We want to heal that part of us and just step into a place to go, for example, that's where we were. We were doing the best we could. And pretty much everybody is doing the best they can. People don't want to believe it, because they don't maybe like what they're seeing, and they go, you can do better. I've seen you do better. And then, right, if the person could, our hearts are generally in a place of wanting to do better. So we don't need to beat ourselves up, in other words. I don't want her to beat herself up. I don't want her to take responsibility for his experience, all right?
Mm-hmm.
And so her projections, yes, I mean, that's a whole nother subject, which we can go into another time.
Yeah, was it? Yeah. Oh, Mr. Bruce. Okay. Yeah. Guys. Okay. Yeah, I got you, buddy. First, I just want to thank everyone for writing in. I'm sure I can see a bunch of other ones, so we'll save them. Tell all the people that we didn't get to today. We will. Okay. So we're going to print them out and we'll save them for next time. My amazing guest. The website is kellysjones.net. Kelly S. Jones, love when you come on, and I'm going to be quiet here because I want you to take us out. Anything you want to say, leave us with, or think about. As my grandmother used to say, you have the floor.
And I always forget you give me the floor at the end. So
Helen von Beckendorf for that.
What was that?
You can thank Helen von Beckendorf for that.
There we go. Okay, Helen, thank you. I'll remember next time, I promise. Yes, I just want to help people really step into a new paradigm, a new way of thinking, a new way of seeing, so they don't feel victimized in the world, and that they know how to love themselves and take care of themselves and choose not to sacrifice anymore, because that only actually brings everybody down. It doesn't help anybody really. So it's really about getting truth out there and the truth of who we are. So thank you. Thank you again, Casey. Wonderful to see you in person.
Yeah,
Look forward to it again.
finally, get to see you. And Kelly S. Jones, brilliant. And look, all she wants to do is help you, as you saw with the people that wrote in, and we will get to you. Guys, Kelly S. Jones, one of the best. KellySJones.net. Kelly, thank you so much. We'll be right back. Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.